going to be on turn 1. So in the top, we have RedJams, aka Neg Everyday, playing Vesper, and Saikoya playing Tenri in the bottom as player 2. And you know, we just saw this match, really. Although I guess the sides are flipped. But they're both doing the same opening we saw in the previous game, the previous set.
Slight differences though. Looks
Yeah.
like RedJam's using a spear instead of a mage to break.
One thing I'm kind of curious about, actually. So something that we're seeing RedJams do, and Saikoya, is they're emptying the bullets, but like, because of the spear opening, you could just save your third bullet and let the spear do the work. Obviously deciding not to go for that option. I think the rifle do the capture so the sword can get the mountain capture. That's interesting too.
Yeah, that is what I was going for in my match, but I low rolled and couldn't kill the gate in time.
Right.
I actually stole that opening from Saikoya, who used it against Sejun in their previous match.
But they're both just like walking straight up to their opponent's stronghold.
Yeah, I haven't seen this before today, but it was really scary to see player 1 just walk their commander into your face. I've been keeping my mouth kind of shut about this, but I think people have kind of realized it now. I think this map has a bit of FTA. Because player 1 can do everything first with their commander, and they can get groove first.
Oh, but that's player 2 that's doing it.
Oh, sorry, player 2, SDA. I'm sorry. I keep thinking the bottom one's player 1 because they move their commander first, but no, they're player 2 because player 1 has to go back and tap the racks. I'm really, really excited that RedJams is playing it like this, kind of just not getting intimidated by the commander rush, because I love this map. Like, I want this to be a good map. I think it's the most balanced out of all the maps, except for this one commander problem. So if RedJams can show us how to defend against the P1 commander rush better than I did, where you're just like losing groove and just stuck at your HQ for all game, then that will make the map like just have new life. So I'm kind of rooting for RedJams in the opening. But Saikoya is also my bud, so I'm kind of rooting for them overall.
Well, I mean, if RedJams just walks his commander left, then there's a lot of like potential damage coming down on Tenri here.
That's really bold, putting the sword on the flagstone. Tenri can't one-shot it, but Tenri can also just stand on the forest tile.
I am wondering if the spear is going to walk onto that forest tile.
Maybe. Deny more groove. Because if they cap that village, Tenri will just whack it, take it. Also, that sword over to the right. Tenri can kill that. So RedJams has to set up some kind of punishment, like a surround threat or something. Otherwise, Tenri can just kill the sword and then walk over the mountain to the village to safety. Uh-oh, no, there's no punishment. It's totally safe. Or is the punishment the counter push? I'll kill your stronghold before you kill mine.
This might be a very, very quick game of open season.
I don't want this to be the meta on this map. Oh no, don't turn it into a base race map, please. Please, please, please.
I mean, RedJams could literally just build the dragon this turn.
Yeah, everybody started doing that on turn 4 after my game.
And Saikoya could literally do the same thing. And neither player has anti-air. Oh, I mean Saikoya does actually.
Dragon's my units. No one else can use it. All the dragons are mine.
I mean, that is the counter, right? Is you save up and you buy a dragon, and like if they do try and walk forward and hit your stronghold, you just ram a dragon into their commander.
Yeah, that was my punishment for that against Pedient.
And here we see the dragon. So I think players are gonna have to respect each other. He even puts the spear in a place where I mean, I guess like you could run forward, clear the spear, have like a swords crit the HQ. Nah, it's not really worth it. And I think Saikoya is going to do the same thing here. He's going to just build a dragon.
Like, there are two really groove efficient plays Tenri could go for. Tenri could sword hit the left 9 village and then Tenri smack it, get 20% groove. Or Tenri could hit the sword from the bottom, take a dragon strike as punishment, but then retreat down below the mountain. And as long as they don't lose that 6th village, which they could with all the spears, they can recover there. But I think going in for the sword is just too risky.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like we could see a sword crit onto the spear and Tenri finishes the spear off.
That would be cool.
And then like he just capture the village on the left, so Tenri like can't get surrounded.
She can... No, she can't, because the sword will be standing behind the village, so yeah, can't get around.
Ooh, Saikoya's going for a different option here. Alright, so he's going to back off. He's going to get Tenri some more groove.
Yeah, he went for the 9 village. I think that was the safer play.
Goes for the archer. And I think what we could see here is just having like a whole bunch of units set up so that they pounce on the swords and Vesper if she tries to go in.
Yeah, it looks like it. Rather than standing in front of the stronghold like RedJams is doing, Saikoya is in that crescent shape. Please stand right there. Right at the focal point. There is no harm in doing so.
Yeah, just puts the spear in the forest. Okay, so this is two very different approaches to defending. And yeah, like RedJams is also just gonna back off. But RedJams, I've watched him play on this map a bunch. He really likes to put his dragon in the center position where it just covers the whole map. So we'll have to see what Tenri does in response to this.
What's impressive right now is that RedJams as player 2 is leading on economy, despite both players more or less mirroring each other for most of the game. I think RedJams has successfully countered the P1 rush, which I really like.
Although in order to do that, he did have to skip 2 barracks builds. But that said, a dragon in this position is like really strong, so Saikoya's probably gonna have to go double mage next turn.
Despite missing the builds, even if you eliminate the village difference, they're even on units at the end of RedJams' turn. And RedJams has the econ lead, which could translate into an extra air unit later.
Okay, and Saikoya's just gonna back up slowly. And actually, here's a really interesting thing about this matchup, is that because Saikoya has so much groove on Tenri, he'll be able to just pick off that dragon later.
That's true, but one thing to keep in mind about this map is after the early game, it's hard to get groove. So if Tenri's groove becomes kill dragon, you have Vesper's groove, which can be kill army if you're not careful.
That is true. I think Saikoya's brought the... Yeah, he's brought the economy back to even. He could capture that village. Oh, he's going to try and decap another village as well.
He kind of has to, because remember, it's not really even. RedJams was ahead at the end of their turn. If Saikoya is even at the end of their turn, then that means that RedJams ultimately won the trade over the 2 turns.
Hmm.
A really solid defense. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I wonder if he's actually going to try and decap the village there, but doesn't go for it. It goes for a witch instead of a double mage.
The witch is also a very good choice. Double mage can cover... Double mage actually covers less territory than a witch as quickly. Although it'll help your army a lot more later, kind of in the mid-game, a witch can counter that dragon much faster.
I do like having a lot of mages when your opponent's got a lot of spears, though, because mages just deal so much damage to spears on their first hit. So you can run a bunch of mages into a spear wall and do pretty significant amount of damage to them, and you won't lose the mages in return for it.
One thing to note about RedJam's playstyle is they play like it's 1.3. Except I'm not seeing the balloons. I'm actually amazed that neither one of these two have built balloons!
Saikoya was saying the exact same thing about your match, actually. Was that nobody was making balloons.
Well, there was a reason for that, and it might be the reason that these 2 balloon lovers aren't doing it. Early game, because I was pressured so hard, I had to build reactively. I had to respond to what my opponent was doing. And then I started pressuring them, so they had to respond to me. We just didn't have the money for it. There probably was, like, a good opportunity to build a balloon at some point. And there was that one random turn where I was just like, okay, I'm making this darn balloon, and I just made it and put a dog in it. And I didn't really get a lot of use out of it, but I just wanted to have it because, like, I couldn't make one all game. But I think we're going to see them come out soon. For sure.
Oh!
No.
That's not what you want to have happen.
1%.
And that is...
Dreaded 1%.
Yeah, that's like 100 income that Saikoya is going to have, and that's a dragon that is still very, very lethal, right? Like, it's still able to do a lot of the things it would normally do, but you really don't want to have that happen. That's like over 100 gold's worth of damage it's just taken.
That being said, I'm laughing so hard right now, because look at RedJam's setup. 2 spears standing in front of 2 road tiles. Would you like to attack them? With a rifle behind it. Like, RedJams is just going to push out and take all these villages.
Yeah, I guess Saikoya kind of just needs to shift his army to the left. And he has the units to fight this kind of army, right? He could even...
I don't know.
He could even actually, if he moves his rifle up to the left of that village and moves his spears up to cover it, he then covers the entire left flank with like rifle fire. So all of a sudden, like, that spear line there can't really advance, and it has to move back even, because otherwise it's just going to get shot to pieces.
Yeah, I think that would be a good play. But I don't think Saikoya should move to the left. I think they should move to the right. Because RedJams is so entrenched on the left. Oh, and there's the balloon finally coming out.
Wait, Saikoya built a balloon?
No, RedJams did.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant this turn, and I was very confused, but...
No, it was a sneaky balloon. I didn't see it when it was built.
Right, okay. Ooh, I'm looking at this. This is pretty dangerous. I think Saikoya needs to move some units to cover more of his stuff.
I don't think he can. The rifle zones it. And the pike can just tap anything.
Oh, I mean like something to the right of the mage and something to underneath it.
Right. Okay, so full sword suicide rode into commander. That's what, 15? Then we've got 7 sword suicide, with or without heal. Let's say with and it works, so that's another what? Maybe like 13. So you're on 28 damage. Full health rifle strike. What's that into commander? 10?
Ish, yeah. More like 9, but yeah.
Alright, so that's 38 damage. Pike crit 9 dragon strike. There is a kill here.
Injured dragon though.
Even injured dragon, that's just going to deal 36. 36, 30. I think it's a coin flip. Yeah, I think this is a dead coin flip.
Relies a lot on the first sword dying as well.
It does. But the good thing about that is you can test it. You lose very little by having a sword plummet into Tenri and not die. Tenri has the groove advantage, RedJams has the eco advantage, Saikoya has the unit count advantage. Yeah, RedJams has to get away from that mountain, because the mage can't be killed. And the dogs can kill anything standing on the mountain, and then the mage can stand on the mountain and kill something next to it. He's either got to put the rifle where it can... Oh no, the rifle's zoning the mountain. So he's got to protect the rifle then, so the dogs don't snipe it.
Or the dog could just run up and kill the... Actually, either of the dogs could. Like, if you clear the sword north of the mountain, like, another dog could run up. So... Oh, and actually... That rifle's fairly injured as well, so that's another, like, what, 1% damage off of the rifle? So... The dragon and the rifle being injured does take another 5% off of like the potential damage.
I'm assuming right mage runs in, heals 9 rifle, and maybe 7 sword. Depending on how much damage first sword did when it suicided in.
Oh yeah, actually, and if you heal the rifle, you also want to heal the dragon as well. So, like he has those options.
That's true, left mage heals dragon, yeah.
And this is the bit where... I mean, this actually just comes down to luck at this point. Unless he decides not to go for it, which he could very well.
I don't think the odds are high enough for RedJams to take it. You would only take this kind of lethal if you think you're not going to win, or if you think your opponent has the advantage on you. Not even that you're not going to win, but... If you've got a 51% lethal, and your chances of winning the game are 49%, you will take that lethal.
Okay, so he's deciding to take a little bit of time to do the other things that he would do normally anyway. Like, he will capture this village. He will move that sword. I will laugh if he moves Vesper into basically the same position on the right-hand side.
No, he wouldn't do that.
No, he didn't go for it either.
That is still not a great spot to stand. That is a really scary spot to be standing.
Okay, first sword goes in. He's pulling the trigger.
Dogs can't reach. Okay, never mind.
If the mage tries to heal, I think that might make it a not great coin flip. So you would have to leave this sword at 71%.
Let's see, Tenry's at 91. So the first sword, I think it really low rolled.
Yeah, you don't want it to high roll though.
It min rolled. The first sword min rolled. 15 minus 5 is 10. 10% minus 10% bonus is 9. It did 9 damage. That was a minimum roll. Great for suiciding, but now RedJams has to calculate whether or not a 9 sword can safely suicide into a 91 Tenry. Let's do some quick math here. So
I think as the health on Tenry goes lower, like an even health sword's hit becomes less likely, right? Because you're losing the defense bonus, so the sword is going to be rolling higher each time.
right, but you only lose 10% of a 10% bonus. So as far as the sword is concerned, that deals about 10 damage, a little bit over. Realistically, you're going to lose 1 point of damage no matter what at this point. So for suicides, subtract 1 from the sword damage.
Okay.
Additionally,
he's going for it. Oh, yeah, that hits. And that does another 9%.
the odds are in Saikoya's favor right now.
Rifle hit is good. Oh, but spear
That was
crit
a
is
bad
not
roll.
good.
That was the worst roll. That was like a minimum roll. Oh my goodness. It's no longer possible.
And now he just has to do whatever damage he can.
Yeah.
And Saikoya is probably super happy because Tenry can just, like, if the dragon is even remotely close, Tenry will just snap it up and kill it, and then like the rest of her army can finish off the rest of the army here.
There's something we need to take note of. RedJams went for a coin flip lethal against Saikoya. You do not do that unless you think your opponent has a decent odds of beating you. Or you think that the odds of the lethal can be safely attempted well enough so that you could maybe still win the game. So RedJams is either really, really confident or showing mad respect to Saikoya.
I think he's like a bit jittery. And like, you think about that, like, let's just, like, look at what we just witnessed. There were 2 mage heals that healed 9% on a dragon and 12% on a rifle. Like, that's the leftover. 2 sword suicides that didn't lead to a kill. So, RedJams just threw away 600 gold on heals that did not 600 worth of healing. Lost 2 units, and now has a spear in a really bad position where it's gonna die. And all he did was 54% on Tenry, and Tenry can easily grab the dragon.
There's can and there's should. What do you think? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I think... Ooh, and wow, yeah, this even has his rifle kill a spear. I think should kill the dragon because it's a very easy kill. Tenry can move back to a safe spot to grab it. You put the dragon on... Oh, where would you put it actually? I guess like... Oh, above the mountain. In the south, so the mage walks onto the mountain and crits the dragon.
That's a solid spot.
Suicide's a dog? Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know if this was thought through.
Yeah, this is an awkward one. Yeah, I
think
don't.
Saikoya thought they had one more.
Yeah. Okay. Rising Wind. Rifle? Okay.
Well, that makes sense because, like, you can. Saikoya is convinced that they can counter the dragon. They have a witch. Their opponent does not have a witch. You gotta keep Tenri from dying, but other than that, as long as the witch stays near Tenri, they should be alright. Yeah, heal comes out.
Yeah, that heal makes a lot of sense because Tenri could have died otherwise. I think actually I would have moved the sword, like the injured one, within Tenri range, just so like the you could have grabbed both of them with a heal.
Maybe Saikoya didn't want to heal it.
Oh, that is true. It is...
Nope, they did.
Right. Okay. Well, that was a little bit of a blunder, but I guess the sword being there though means that the mage on the top left can't reach it. Which, you know, that could be relevant.
Yeah, I think Saikoya wanted the rifle because now all those swords can stand there. And Saikoya can push on the HQ. Because the dragon is an aggressive unit. It's not going to stop you from pushing, especially if you have a witch. It can't attack anything while your units are covered with anti-air. Although I think it can take a free pike this turn? Maybe? Well, the witch hasn't moved yet, but... This is looking so good for Saikoya right now.
It really is. Like, I mean, he's down on income by 300. But that means he's up on unit count by 6. And he grabbed the rifle. And the rifle is, like, worth more than one unit, really. Like, in your game, you suicided 3 dogs to kill a sword and a rifle.
Yeah, no regrets.
Yeah,
but there were extenuating circumstances. I was afraid that the rifle would stand in front of my rifle and then get Vesper grooved. So I had to take that thing down.
Sure. I mean, as Tenri, you also have the option of grooving your rifle to shoot their rifle, but yeah. That's a really weird matchup, now that I think about it. Or I guess this is a really weird matchup.
Yeah, Tenri also has a weird interaction, being one of the few commander grooves that can affect something targeted in Vesper Smoke. It is just straight up bizarre. I don't even think that's supposed to be an interaction, because that's not how that works with everything else, but maybe because it's wind and wind counters smoke? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could see that. Like, wind blows the smoke away. I like that play with the dragon. He realizes, oh, there's an opening on the right-hand side. I'm just going to fly my dragon across and kill. I think that was a spear?
Yeah, that was the pike I was talking about last turn. Saikoya had to move the witch to cover it, but they didn't. Let's see, can the dragon? No, the dragon cannot threaten below the 6th village. So risky, though. Golem! What do you think about that Golem play?
I actually really like it. Well, he's got double mage, right? So that's backing up the golem. There isn't really much from Saikoya that can kill the golem. And your RedJams actually did a lot of counter-attack damage on that turn. So starts 400 gold up and only 1 unit behind now. So he killed a lot that turn. Like, obviously, you know, there's the big thing of I just lost my rifle, so... Ooh, and I love that witch positioning. Like, the mage can't reach it. Covers
And
so
it
much of
slows
the range.
down the dragon. If Saikoya caps this village, Vesper can hit it, but it doesn't matter. She's at 95. The dragon won't be able to go through unless something hits it, which would put Vesper either next to the river tile, dun dun dun, or like right in front of where you could set up an army. The pike.
That's a very brave move.
Didn't you know pikes counter dragons? There's the village cap. With the sword in front of the village, flagstone below the sword. Saikoya's just like, I am going to slightly annoy this dragon to the best of my abilities.
I mean, his army can just push that front now. Oh, actually, yeah, there's just so much flagstone in the way, and army, that the dragon can't really do much unless it wants to get trapped.
I mean, there are some very funny things it could do.
I want to see another archer come out. I actually think that would be a really strong play right now. Because archers can kill mages, they can kill pikes with swords and dogs. They make it really difficult to push in because, you know... Oh, but he goes for a dog. Okay, that's fair. I think he's banking money as well. Yeah, he might try and build his own dragon next turn, or his own golem.
Saikoya really needs a balloon to build an archer. They might go like balloon archer next turn.
I mean, although they could have just gone balloon this turn.
That's true.
Banking the gold, I guess like you don't need the balloon this turn, so it does give you the option of, oh, I could build a dragon if I really wanted it. Actually, the more I think about like what Saikoya is doing on that right hand side, like the better it is. Like he can decap at least 2 villages and capture one of them. And to do that, I actually think he could potentially do it without taking damage. Like, archer runs up, shoots the village. You get a pike crit on it.
I don't think we're going to see an archer from RedJams until the late game because Saikoya still has a rifle. The positioning would be a little bit awkward. Though you can technically counter rifle with archer by going for the diagonals.
Yeah, oh, I mean, archers open up sides on the rifle. Like, one of the big advantages of the archer is that it pokes a hole in your opponent's wall. Because you're getting 2 hits on a front that only has one side open. So we'll see.
I'm just noticing this now, but RedJams is a little bit low on anti-air, and they're about to lose a mage. Because that 8 mage is not going to survive that rifle.
Oh yeah.
This might be a good time for Saikoya to make a dragon. It counters the golem, it'll force RedJams to make more mages.
Or his own witch. Although getting more mages with the golem is generally like the good idea. That said, like witch actually does some good stuff with golems as well. Like some interactions the golem won't one-shot. Like it won't one-shot a spear on planes. But if you witch hex the spear first, it will. That dragon placement is a bit awkward. I think he's going to try and cover it with a mage.
He's got to. That's not enough. Maybe it is enough. Wait, how much sword? Yeah, no, that sword can't die. It's covered on the right at least.
I think he's gonna put something on the mountain. Although Archer could walk forward, shoot the dog, and then like Mage goes in and finishes off the dog, and then that punches a hole open for the Witch to go through.
Yeah, I was just doing the math on that.
But it looks like that's covered now.
Yep. How much damage does Archer do to a village?
It does, I think it's 25, yeah, so.
So the village could theoretically fall. I'm not saying that's a good move, but...
I think we're gonna see Tenri walk up and hit the 7 village, and the rifle shoot the mage. Yep. So the rifle shoots the mage, that's a very obvious play that's gonna happen. Ooh, Vesper has groove now, that changes things.
Yeah, she can't use it for another turn though, unless Saikoya really missteps here. Electing not to go for the 7 village. It was a little bit scary. There was dog suicide, dog crit, night pike crit golem, but I think could have covered it for the most part. Yeah, but you would have taken losses. And then the next turn, Tenri would be forced back to the 7 village, have to heal, and could be completely out of the Vesper fight. So I think Saikoya is just prioritizing defending the stronghold against the Vesper groove now.
Right. And the income is actually evening up right now. So... builds his own dragon. That makes sense. Like, he wants to be able to... I mean, there's not much anti-air, right? There's 1 mage. So, dragon can go around and absolutely destroy lots of things. It could go take out villages. There are some low health villages around. It can body block as well. So, Tenri could go in and be aggressive, and the dragon would be able to... The dragon and the witch actually would be able to be a nice little... formation around Tenri to be defensive.
Critical point of note, RedJams stopped playing 1.3. Look at his army comp. It's mostly dogs now. A utility mage, a dragon, double balloon, and a golem and a knight. This is more of a 2.0 build.
Yeah, and I think a big thing about that is that, I mean, he had a lot of spears and the spears died. Like, and he doesn't have his own rifle, so he needs to have a composition that can fight against the rifle, and dogs don't take as much damage against the rifle. So
I think it's like 30 or something. Let me check.
I'll check
25.
25, and that's, you know, not including defensive bonuses, so...
Oh, I'm not sure if you mentioned this. You might have, and I just missed it. But Saikoya did make that dragon.
Oh yeah, I mentioned. Yeah, I was talking about how RedJams only has 1 mage, so the dragon can fly around and it can do damage because there's like very little anti-air coverage on the map.
RedJams has got to be careful not to let that last mage get sniped. And they really need a witch of their own.
Yeah.
Fun fact about witches.
Sorry, go ahead.
You go ahead.
Well, he built the witch, so I guess. Oh, and a mage. Right, he's very, very wary of this dragon now. Gonna have everything he needs to fight against it, and he builds another dog. So, dog meta is here.
Best boys for the win. Are we going to see that balloon go back to pick up the mage? Otherwise, it'll take a while to get over here.
Saikoya has some interesting options here. Where he could...
That's a night crit.
Oh, it is. There isn't much else to follow up though. So yeah, I mean like the rifle won't be able to shoot Vesper in the forest.
Yeah, no, it's a safe play, but like the second you move into a knight's crit range, I'm like, ha ha ha. Ooh, that dragon movement will allow Saikoya to knight crit that north red village.
Yeah.
The sword could take it back, but there's nothing to punish the knight.
And look at how bunched up Saikoya, or not Saikoya's army is. Look how bunched up RedJams' army is. Like, these outer villages are gonna be really open targets. Or actually, I wonder if that's what 15 average damage, and then this does 40. Could potentially see the rifle crit the 52% village, and then have the mage follow up and knock it down. It'd be a weird play, but it would give him an income advantage. Oh, but no, he there's a sword, and he just kills it.
I don't know if that was a good thing to do. I think Saikoya should have reloaded there instead of attacking anything, because now RedJams has a turn where they can position themselves right in front of Saikoya's stronghold. Maybe not. Maybe they don't have enough.
I guess like this turn, this is the turn you build a second witch as Saikoya as well, because it's like one of the few things you can do against Vesper's army when it's under the cloud.
I was thinking a lot about that in my game, and one of the problems is, even though witches do affect things under the Vesper Shroud, you also give suicides if you hex. You give a lot of suicides if you double hex. So if you make that play against Vesper, your commander needs to be on the other side of the map. If we're looking at Tenry's only at 15% groove. I talked about this earlier, but the early game is when you get groove on this map. And there's enough for a slow charger to get it. But after that, good luck, because it's a standoff, and once your armies meet, someone is probably going to lose the game. That's why I was saying maybe Tenry should have held on to groove a little bit for a big play that would deal more army damage than just sniping the rifle, because even though getting rid of that rifle was good positionally, it hasn't stopped RedJams from defending. It hasn't stopped RedJams from rebuilding. It hasn't let Saikoya make any pushes. But just holding onto that groove is lethal threat. It controls where Vesper can stand. It controls what you have to put in front of your stronghold at all times.
Something that I think is actually going to start coming into play though is that Saikoya has a lot more time on the clock. And he has a unit lead, and he has, at the end of his turn, recaptured the economy lead. And you know, he's got the precious rifle. So Vesper's gonna have to do something special this turn.
Actually, I think RedJam's best option is to do nothing special. I think RedJams just wants to build forces so that they have so many units that the difference in unit count doesn't matter. And then force a fight with Vesper Groove, take big wins, push them off, and take the win off it. But RedJams has to play more quickly to do that, and I don't think RedJams can play more quickly. Or just take advantage of the rifle being out of ammo and just put the entire army like right here, right here, and the right side, like between the red village, the 5 yellow, and the 7 yellow. Just put everything there. Just be like, you want to attack me? You could just put the 2 balloons in front. At most, one of them will go down to the mage, as long as they stay out of the witch's range. Giant could cross over. You just dump a bunch of units here and be like, you have to attack me. Or back off. And if Saikoya backs off, RedJams can push in, Groove, take the stronghold. If Saikoya goes in, RedJams can attack, Groove, take the army. What would you do in this situation?
As RedJams?
Yeah.
Oh. That's a hard thing to say, because I don't know if I'd have this army composition.
You're right. There aren't enough archers.
There are, and you know, he went for a golem. It's a unit I almost never make. He has double... Well, I guess I could see myself building double balloon, but... I wouldn't have this army composition, is my main thing. So, like, it's a really difficult question for me to answer, because the way I would play out this match wouldn't put me in this kind of position.
No, he's doing it. He's moving everything to the right side. This is it. Do or die. Even though Saikoya does have a unit count lead, I gotta say, like, for somebody who failed a coin flip lethal and suffered some heavy losses because of it, RedJams is doing alright.
Yeah, I think he's planning on using Groove this turn, though? Either that or he has to have everything perfectly positioned.
I would be very, very surprised if he uses Groove this turn. Because he is too far north for that. He could have moved further south and given himself a much more aggressive position, threatened the stronghold, created some tempo, but he didn't do that. He put most of his units a little bit above where I was talking about, so I don't think the Groove is coming out. I think he's going to Groove next turn.
I mean, something I can see here coming is, like, Knight kills Mage in the north, unless RedJam spots that. I mean, it is RedJams though, so I figure he will, but if he loses that Mage, that's a lot of his anti are gone. And that means, like, the Witch could run forward and hex a lot of the army. He could do something like, he could put the Witch underneath that Knight, for example, and then have the Dragon run forward and hit the Golem. And then that opens up the Golem to getting killed quite easily.
He's holding that one dog. I'm like waiting to see. No, he didn't do it. He didn't do it.
Alright, so I think you definitely suicide the Knight into the Mage.
Oh yeah, that was a misstep.
Because, like,
Yep.
as Saikoya, yep, that's like the first thing he does.
Right away. No hesitation.
Yeah, because, you know, it's not gold efficient, but in this case, like, there's, what, a Mage? So... Oh, interesting
What?
move with the dragon.
No, no, what? No! But, yeah.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. He has a night crit lined up on the headquarters. So, Saikoya needs to, at all costs, cover one of those sides on the left of the north to prevent.
This was a huge stinking misplay. That dragon cannot be on the left side of the map right now.
Yeah, I think like he should have sacrificed. It wouldn't even sacrifice. He would just take a bunch of damage on the dragon to kill the golem.
Yeah, it was a pretty safe attack. Oh, actually, the witch couldn't stand where you were saying because the mage could hit it.
Yeah,
but it could
like
stand to the right of it.
I mean, it could have just gone somewhere, right? Like, and hexed a lot of stuff.
I don't know if hexing is the right move just because Tenri is standing in front of the stronghold.
Okay, I like that witch position actually.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause, like, sure, it can take damage, but
Unless Vesper grooves, that witch is going to die and counterattack. So it's very solid. And are you going to waste groove for a witch?
Saikoya has a huge unit lead now. And if you look at the units RedJams have, quite a lot of them don't even attack. So he's got these 2 balloons, like they're just transports. Those
Just
armies,
transports.
I mean, they wall and stuff as well, but
They're balloons. They're the most magnificent of all units after the wagon. And the dragon, of course.
yeah, like, I mean, Vesper could groove into this, but there's enough staying power here from Saikoya that I think he'll be fine.
The golem's a little bit out of range, though. What you really want to do is replace Tenri with the golem. So you're like, all right, well, you know, when I have to move my commander, I can put the golem there. I love how annoying that witch is. I'm trying to imagine RedJams' attack, and I'm like, okay, well, the first thing you do is you put the golem. Damn the witch! It's in the way. There's no way around it. You can't kill that village. You can't get across. You can't stand in the mountain. That witch is just completely shutting down anything I could think of.
And like, the funny thing is, like, let's say the witch runs in, hits it. There's a village next to it that it could, like, I mean, obviously that village is going to get decapped, right? But in theory, the witch, well, I mean, it forces him to decap the village, but the witch could just heal off of it and go back to full. It's pretty hilarious, actually. Interesting place to put the dog.
RedJams has like 13 minutes left in the entire game, and Saikoya is fine on time. It is up to RedJams to end this. Oh!
Dog?
That's how they get around the witch. Okay. Oh, wow. I love that so much. That was so clever.
I guess smoke cloud comes down.
It has to.
Oh, this is actually really good positioning on everything. Like, it will cover the whole army.
RedJams was a really weird choice to make. No, he does it. The choice was, do you use the knight to crit the knight? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because if you don't, you can have the full health knight threatening whatever's standing in front of the stronghold. Now it's at 9 health, 89% instead of 100, because he didn't use another pike in conjunction with that pike to kill that knight. I wonder if that knight's damage is going to matter. But on the other hand, it does let him advance the pike, which could be important. That mage is in a precarious position because it can be doggo murdered. I think it will live enough to heal something, but there's definitely balloon drop dog crit on that mage on the flagstone.
I mean, you could even just run a dog into it and then have the dragon kill it.
Yeah, that too.
The mage could pick off a balloon as well, so...
Alright, the dog's coming in to try to protect the mage. Good choice. That mage could be critical.
Actually, balloon defense here is going to be super important too.
But there's still, like, suicide options. I don't know. I don't know if that mage is protected yet. How much damage does dog do to a full health sword counterattacking from the river? I don't think that's a suicide. Yeah, he's okay with the dragon striking it, but I think everything else is stopped now. Mage could take that balloon, but then it's setting itself up for dog crit on a river tile. But that probably doesn't even matter right now. Yeah, the biggest problem is how many sides of the stronghold can Saikoya defend without losing their commander. That is the game we're playing. The giant is probably going to stand on the flagstone, yep. That'll give it the best possible defense, and if you can't bring down the giant this turn, you're not going to win.
Saikoya is playing this defense out very quickly.
They have so much time, too. It's like they want to just keep all the pressure on RedJams, or maybe they were thinking about it last turn and they knew exactly what they were going to do.
Hex makes a lot of sense.
But it's also really risky. RedJams has so many suicide units into Tenri now. I don't know if she backed up far enough. Because the last thing you want to do is give RedJams another win con right now. 9 suicide, 4 suicide... Possibly 6 with heal. I don't think 2 9 dogs can suicide on planes.
Something interesting, the dragon can cover the left, and it can't be killed.
You're right. It can't.
And I guess you just shove the balloon up in front and drop a pike on the forest. Yeah, I think the balloon has to go north of the stronghold.
I'm just trying to see if there's lethal on Tenri. I don't think there is. Even if you could somehow double dog suicide, triple dog suicide, it doesn't matter. There's nothing else to hit her.
Oh, the balloon doesn't move. He's just gonna let the stronghold take a hit. And, actually, yeah, I guess that makes more sense to just have your army reinforced on the left, because, like, RedJams could just sweep around and break that.
Wait. Can the giant die here?
One side. On flagstone.
It would cost a lot of dogs.
Oh, you're meaning
Yeah.
like suiciding stuff? I think you would have to suicide way too much.
Yeah, I think you're right.
He also, the funny thing is, this witch is still blocking a lot of stuff.
And they can't kill it. It's gotta be a multi-turn. A multi-turn is the only way to take down this stronghold.
I feel like this defense is strong enough. Like, And oh my god, look at that army. It's just so much stuff that can counterattack. This is ridiculous. Like, the golem can die if everything gets sacrificed onto it, but I don't think there's like an actual lethal on the headquarters. The dragon can't be killed. Tenri can't be killed. I don't think the spear underneath the stronghold can be killed.
This positioning isn't great because they need something to stand on the forest tile and smack the golem, and right now the only one who can do that is the dragon. But the dragon's not going to live. It would have to have been Vesper or the golem, but they cannot reach the forest tile.
Actually, funnily enough, the dragon, and this is such a weird interaction, but there's an archer crit and an archer hit on that forest.
But there's no mage. I take it back. The dragon can tank that location.
It would eat a lot of damage for it, though.
It wouldn't, because archer crit into dragon isn't that bad. It's only like 20 damage.
I guess, actually, no, the other thing you could do is you could just use your archers to shoot everything else.
Yeah, if that dragon goes onto the forest and hits the golem, it can do so for free. It'll protect Vesper, so Vesper can go in on the stronghold, or Giant. No, Giant does more damage to stronghold. So Giant goes in on the stronghold. Vesper is, I think, tankier than a golem, and can stand to the left of the golem if they're super, super safe about it. I don't know if that's possible in this situation, but hypothetically. That would put Vesper on a plains tile, but there aren't any suicides available, and only one of the archers would be able to hit them. Oh, it gets better. The 4-dog might be able to... How much damage does a stronghold do to a dog? Can the 4-dog suicide into the stronghold?
I don't know. I think that's a high roll from the stronghold as well, if it can.
Yeah, I think it has just a little bit too much health.
And like, he really wants to use this mage to heal stuff, right? And he really wants this witch to do something other than hit the enemy witch. So this 17% witch is doing so much work just by existing.
RedJams cannot hex here. That would be devastating. It would give Saikoya so many suicide options, and that's unit removal at this point. It would have to be a very, very selective hex, and RedJams only has 8 minutes to figure out how to solve this puzzle.
6 minutes now.
Move the balloon. I don't care where. Mage heals dragon, 2 dogs, and knight. Maybe just attack them into stuff. No, heal the golem, because you need as much damage on the stronghold as possible. Why are you removing that village? He's not going for it! I was joking about the dog thing! You're not gonna take down the golem!
He doesn't have anything to follow up on the golem. Like, he can't move the dragon to attack from that side. Vesper can't attack there. She can't reach it. And, like, the golem can't reach that tile either. So, if you even killed the golem, you just move another unit onto that tile. You could move a spear there for all you care.
Oh. No! There's a really... Okay, if Saikoya heals their own witch, they can kill this balloon, and then use a 9-dog to hit the mage, so that these balloons become immortal, and then they can use the balloons to shield the left of this flank. Golem attack stronghold, dragon attack giant, Vesper stand to the left of the giant, double balloon block... they didn't go for that. No, that balloon can't die either, but... Yeah, but now this one can't get far enough. Only that balloon could have covered there. Shame. Now I think the left side of this is going to be a little bit weak. 44. There's the golem hit. We knew that was happening. 51. A little bit of a low roll. But close to average. But now what defends the left side of Vesper? Or Vesper can't stand there, but then the golem died. So you need to hit the dragon. Yup, hits the dragon. That witch can just die.
Yeah, now the witch dies.
Though to be fair, I guess there's nothing really to kill the golem. So that pike is totally gonna die to the rifle.
I mean, fun. Like the hilarious thing here is the witch can just sit there and hex again.
It can. But you want to know the absolute funniest thing about all of this? If the giant is successfully protected, healed, etc., it won't be able to kill the stronghold. There won't be another side to follow up. You know what would be great in this situation? An archer!
Yeah.
If RedJams had an archer, then he could take this down in 2 turns, but he doesn't, so he can't.
Alright, Saikoya. And Saikoya's got all the time in the world to think about this, right? And of course, you know, the witch is the very obvious target to go down.
I wouldn't have done that so quickly. You might have needed that heal. There are 2 win cons on the table. Killing Vesper is impossible right now. Vesper is completely protected. Unless you could get that 9 dog, but even then. Yeah, there's just not enough follow-up. Or is there? Wait, rifle snipes Pike. Pike dies. Can you kill the 9 dog with anything? Archer plus something kills the 9 dog. But then I don't think Golem will suicide into a 9 Vesper. And even if you did, there wouldn't be any follow-up. So yeah, Vesper can't die. She can be hella harassed.
You're just saying dog suicides? I mean...
I was joking, guys! You're half joking. But it's a good strategy. If they can get the golem low enough, then it won't be able to finish the stronghold even over a multi-turn.
I mean, like... You just press hex on the witch, yeah. And that's a lot of damage coming down.
RedJams is actually up on buildings right now. Like, they have a 400 gold lead, which might not sound like it matters, but when you have enough mages and witches on the field, it starts to matter.
Oh, rifle can just shoot the pike, so...
You can shoot either pike. Or the 6 sword, but, like, that would be silly.
I think you shoot the 8 pike and then try and, like, kill the golem by, like, hitting above it as well.
Yeah, I was talking about that earlier, but the archer would have to hit the dog, beat the dog out. And at that point, I don't think there's anything left to hit above the golem, unless you're using your own golem, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh,
yeah,
you
your
could
own
use your dragon.
Golem to do it. That's true. That's true. But then the dragon dies. I'm not a fan of dying dragons. Unless they're the enemy's dragons. Traitor dragons.
Oh, but, like, the clever thing there is, like... I mean, okay, there's, like, a mage up in the north that can heal, but... The injured mage there... You don't really want that healing, you want that killing a dragon or something, so if you force that... But yeah, like, you could do stuff like...
This is completely unrelated, but I gotta tell you something. This is the second time you said the mage in the north, and every time you say that, I'm just thinking, the mage in the north!
Ooh, that was a really good roll on that archer.
No, it's at 40! It's at exactly 40.
Tenry will kill, though. Oh, one? Okay. Right. Rifle had to finish. Unfortunate, but necessary.
But this is really, really scary. Tenri is face checking a bunch of 8 health units. This is what I was talking about with that hexing. You saved the stronghold, but what about everything else? I don't think an 8 pike can suicide into a commander. Let me check the math on that. Damage to commander is 20, counter damage 60. Nope, you're not suiciding. Can the pike be cleared? No, because they don't have an archer. Well, actually, no, because there are 2 sides, so the pike can be cleared. Ooh.
I think you can kill the 90% dog with the 2
Tenri's
swords.
dead. Tenri is straight up dead. Double dog suicide. Clear the pike on 2 sides. Heal Vesper, Dragon. Is there Witch Hex option? I don't think there is. I don't know if you need it. I think Tenri is dead. Pike moves out of the way. Dog suicide. Heal Vesper and Dragon. They're at full. Dragon goes in. The right dog suicided to enable a double dog crit on the pike, removing the pike. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, it's even worse than that. Forget about the dragon. Full health knight crit. Mage heals 8 knight. 8 knight crits into Tenri after double dog suicide and full health Vesper hits. Tenri is dead. If RedJams can figure that out in 3 minutes. And they have to clear the pike. That's the thing that's worrying me, because you need to make sure your dog economy is correct. I'm not sure what combination of heals are required to do this, such that you don't eliminate your ability to remove the pike, but there's definitely lethal here if you do everything in the right order.
1, 2.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so heal on Vesper. Pike moves out of the way. Dog suicide first. Then
Can you
Vesper
get-
strike.
Can you even get 2 dog suicides though?
Oh, it's worse than that because you don't need the dragon. The dragon kills the pike.
Yeah, but my point is, like, can 2 dogs suicide?
You only need 1. 2 8 dogs suiciding into commander on planes. I don't know what the odds are, but you only need 1. You only need 1, and this is a better than average lethal. And in RedJam's position, they have no better options. Okay, so here's the play. Dragon takes pike from the left. If it survives, finish it off with any dog. That's fine. It doesn't matter. 8 pike moves out of the way. Knight crit on Tenri from... 8 dog suicide once. If you can get another, go for it. If not, proceed to Knight crit and Vesper hit. Each of those will do after healing Vesper with that remaining mage. It's a little... Yeah, you can do it without healing anything you don't want to heal. That's fine. The only question is whether or not they can get an additional strike from the left. I think that's what RedJams is trying to figure out, whether or not they can remove that mage so that the dragon can strike. But I think they decided that they wouldn't be able to kill the mage because the 8 dog can't suicide into the mage because it's on a mountain. Why?
I guess he
Why'd
doesn't...
you go for the sword?
There's no reason... Ooh.
No, they don't! He didn't see it! He either doesn't see it or he sees a better play. Maybe he sees a better play. Oh, maybe he's going for the stronghold, because you can use the same strategy to crit the stronghold, but you've got to remove that pike and it's still alive.
Oh no, both pikes are alive.
Yeah, no, that didn't work. You had to remove both pikes, unless RedJams is trying for a multi-turn thing, but like... Oh, I would have gone for the lethal. I would have gone for the lethal there.
Alright, so Stronghold lives on 4%.
It doesn't matter. RedJams does not have enough time to end the game.
Oh,
They have
right.
to win in 4 seconds. They have to win in 4 seconds.
I mean, the
I don't-
question here is, does Saikoya have lethal on Vesper?
No. Yes, there's a lot of archers. You kill the pike with the rifle. Double archer hit Vesper. Do you need anything for removal? Ooh, that ran out of the way. That could have been a suicide. You can't remove the dragon. I think the biggest problem is the dragon is immortal. So Vesper can only realistically be attacked on one side, 2 if you use an archer hit to kill the 8 dog. Because I don't think the other units have enough. And even doing that will just open up a dog. So if the other archer hits the 8 dog, then a dog can hit from the left, which is more damage than the archer would do to Vesper, so I think that's worth it. Or you could go for the 4 dragon. I'm not sure if a 4 dragon's better than a... No, a dog is better than a 4 dragon, because dragon would do 40 average. Yeah, Vesper's not going to die. There's just not enough. RedJams really, really wishes they had an archer. Like, can you just hear them thinking, if only I had an archer?
Yeah. I mean, they had 5 seconds left on the clock. So Saikoya just needs to clear enough, really.
He doesn't even have to make it impossible to hit the stronghold. He just has to make it impossible to do in 3 seconds. RedJam should have gone for the lethal. It was better than average odds, I think. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know how the double dog suicide thing would have worked. Because an 8 dog, reduced by planes, reduced by health, you're like down to 90, get hit again. I don't know, maybe it couldn't have doubled. But I don't know the exact health of all the 8 dogs. Like, were any of them at... Yeah, there was one of them at 77. There's one of them at 76. As long as you could do 76. Let's say Vesper was brought down to 80 by the second attack. 80 multiplied by 120 is 96. Hell yeah, it would have worked. The doubles dog suicide was an option, so that was a good lethal. The funny thing is, though, the more time Saikoya takes, the more time RedJams has to think. They should really just end their turn.
Maybe, I think they want to just clear enough stuff. Because if they can kill as much stuff as they want to, then they might as well. And,
Yeah.
like, they're just doing a lot of damage now.
I don't think it's possible to breach anymore. 1, 2, 3, 4, that's blocked. Oh no, it's possible! Archer is on road! Dragon strike Archer, Vesper strike below the stronghold! It's right there! Can he do it in 3 seconds?
Oh my god, will he actually do it? Or will he run out of time?
He's trying!
No! He ran out of time!
Oh my... I mean, we're saying before that timeouts don't always make for good games, but that was a hell of a game!
Oh. All he needed was 1 unit below the stronghold as well.
You just couldn't do it in time! Ah.
Oh, I meant Saikoya as well. Like, if you just put a unit there, he would have been fine.
Yeah.
Oh
That
no.
was amazing.